Welcome friends back to the Basics Farmer Pet's YouTube and Instagram channel. So how do you plant vegetables like tomatoes? Well, before you even plant them, in the fall, a few months before, you want to sow a nice cover crop in your garden, because cover crop species such as clover have the ability to fix nutrients such as nitrogen. For instance, clover can take nitrogen from the atmosphere, translocate it to its roots, where then it's released into the soil, providing nutrients for your vegetables in the following growing season, okay? So a few days before I planted my vegetables, I come through and I mow that cover crop down. And now there's an addition of organic matter in the soil, which is going to break down and provide nutrients, slow release of nutrients throughout the growing season, okay? And if you look at my rows, I practice what's called zone tilling. The old-fashioned way was to turn over the entire soil, right? But if you practice zone tilling, you're going to reduce a lot of time and labor throughout the growing season, and you're going to conserve the soil, which is very important. You're going to conserve moisture in the soil as well. Okay, so zone tilling now, you see here what I've done? It's beautiful, okay? Now I don't have to come here in the growing season and hoe in between my rows, and now I don't have to get some type of organic matter such as straw to add as a mulch to reduce weeds in between these rows here. I only have to focus now on adding organic matter around the vegetables that I'm planting. This is very important here. In this row you could see I have mulched here, okay? I have mulch and compost that I made myself last year, compared to in this row where I haven't done it yet. Now these tomatoes, I'm gonna plant about 2 to 3 feet apart. I like to do it 30 inches, okay? And before you put it in, check it. Make sure there's no bugs on it from the nursery where you bought it from, okay? Tomatoes are very unique compared to other vegetables because you can plant the entire plant pretty much underneath the soil and it will take root, okay? The entire stem that you put under the soil will become more of a root system. So I like to put it a few 2 to 3 inches below the soil, okay? Below where it was grown in the nursery. And like I said, the rest of that root then, or of that stem, will now take root. And remember, add your mulch, okay? Because this mulch and this compost is going to help to conserve the soil. It's going to help to conserve moisture in the soil when it rains, okay? And also it's going to help prevent weeds from growing. And all this organic matter is going to break down over time, and it's going to provide a slow release of nutrients throughout the many growing seasons you're going to have in your garden. Think about it. These tomatoes are going to give us tomatoes one day. We're going to take it and go to our table and eat it. Now we have to make sure that we're putting stuff back in the soil. It's a cycle of giving and taking when you get back to nature and when you get back to the basics. This is such a beautiful thing. Remember, these tomatoes, you plant them 2 to 3 feet apart, and your rows could be 3 feet apart. Now I do about 3.5 feet. And like I said, let's compare. What if I come through and I plant without mulching? Now the soil is gonna dry up faster. Now weeds are gonna grow, okay? The plant is gonna have competition. We're gonna have more labor throughout the growing season, and it's not gonna be fun to grow vegetables. But if you mulch like I've done in these rows here, okay? Now you're gonna conserve the soil. You're going to add organic matter to the soil. You're going to provide nutrients. You're going to provide habitat for earthworms and micro-organisms, okay? Your plants are going to be healthy. And also when there's mulch on the soil, okay, it's going to help prevent diseases. When there's compost on the soil, it will help prevent diseases, because if there's bare soil when it rains, when rain splashes on that bare soil and that bare soil goes up and touches the plant, sometimes there can be pathogens in that soil. But if you add things like compost and mulch, especially the compost, it's kind of like adding antibodies to the soil, okay? You're inoculating the soil. You're giving it healthy, natural medicine, okay? This is true. You can look it up, okay? That's a great thing about the internet now. We can look all this stuff up. There's so much wonderful information. Well, looks like it's getting so dark where I can't see much more anymore. That's a good time to end a hard day working outside. And oh, am I going to sleep like a baby. Moo.